Good afternoon. I hope you're ready for your social studies learning assignment on this Halloween. To start off your assignment, just like you would in any class, go to my Canvas site and click on this week's agenda. As you're doing that, a couple things I want to point out in the beginning is if you ever have questions about what you're doing today or what the assignment is asking, be sure to send me an email or send me a tweet and let me know that you need help. My contact information is on the front page of my Canvas site. So go ahead and click on this week's agenda. And you want to scroll down to Friday. As you're watching this video, if you ever want to stop, maybe your web browser's loading slowly, or it's taking a while for your document to download, take advantage of being able to pause this YouTube video and wait for everything to catch up. Pause throughout this. Today our learning objective is I can explain the reasons that led to the 13 colonies rebelling against Britain. You want to go ahead and click on the link to today's assignment. Alright, now I still need to upload the YouTube video because I'm making it, but this is where you'll go to get the instructions for today's agenda and today's assignment. If you don't have internet, you already downloaded a file folder with all this information in it. What I want you to do is go ahead and download the document that is in these instructions, and then after you've completed it, you'll turn it into Canvas. If you don't have internet access at home, you'll turn it in on Monday when you get to school. So go ahead and download this. Hit enable editing. What we're going to do today is we're going to learn about the Boston Massacre and how tensions within Boston over the Townshend Acts and the Stamp Act and the Declaratory Acts had boiled over into what becomes one of the major events and most well-known events in American history. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to watch a video from America, the Story of Us that gives a little more information about what the Boston Massacre was. And then we're going to read through some primary sources to get a picture from people that were actually there at the event about what happened. We're going to continue to work with this next week in class and look at, was the Boston Massacre really a massacre?
Boston is a melting pot, and tension is building.
Nobody likes invaders in their homes. To have people here, foreigners on your soil, is a great incentive for people to fight.
March 5th, 1770. After 3 days of unrest, an angry mob roams the streets. Hundreds of men who lost their jobs and blame the British gather on King Street and face off against 8 redcoats with orders not to fire. What's about to happen will change America forever. A 17-year-old wigmaker's apprentice, Edward Garrick, lights the fuse. This is how wars start. Private Hugh Montgomery is hit with a club. An African-American, Crispus Attucks, dies instantly. When the smoke clears, 4 more are dead. How Boston reacts will change the course of history. Silversmith and political radical Paul Revere captures the moment British soldiers of Boston. His engraving will fuel the fires of revolution as outrage spreads across the 13 colonies.
Unhappy Boston, see thy sons deplore, thy hallowed walks besmeared with guiltless gore, whilst faithless Preston and his savage bands with murderous rancor stretch their bloody hands.
The most formidable army in the world, firing on an unarmed crowd. An explosive image with a title that says it all. The Bloody Massacre.
There was the old joke, you give me a picture, I'll give you a war. Those who wanted to stir things up and to make a statement and maybe even lead a revolution, it made them able to rally others to their side.
News spreads fast. The colonists are avid readers, a legacy from the first Bible-reading Puritans in Plymouth. Boston has the first weekly newspaper. There are now more than 40 papers across the colonies. And the new Postmaster General, Benjamin Franklin, has introduced a revolutionary postal delivery system. Night riders cut the delivery time in half. The communications network connecting the colonies is one of the best in the world. And the British have no idea. They hope the news can be contained. Before news reaches England, most of America knows about the Boston Massacre.
It's a very American spirit of an idea, this idea that everybody should have access to knowledge. It's very much like that pioneering idea. Everybody should be able to make their way in the world.
A printer in Connecticut can read the exact same story as a farmer in North Carolina. December 1773. The Boston Gazette breaks.
Alright, so hopefully that gives you some images to think about what happened at the Boston Massacre. So here are your instructions. On the night of March 5th, 1770, several Boston residents were shot and killed by British soldiers in what became known as the Boston Massacre. What follows are several images and first-hand accounts from eyewitnesses to and participants in the event. Following each primary source are questions to help you examine and interpret the information, and these questions need to be answered in complete sentences. So what you'll find in the rest of this document are short primary sources, excerpts from primary sources, and then just a few questions to help you think about what was being talked about in those primary sources. The first primary source is from a Bostonian who was in the crowd during the massacre. And then my favorite, the third and the fourth ones, are from the leader of the British soldiers, Captain Thomas Preston. He gives a very different account from what you'll see from the Bostonian William Tant, and then later on, Paul Revere's famous image of the Boston Massacre. So what I want you to do is read through these primary sources and answer the questions. There's only 13 of them. Please answer these in complete sentences. And if you have any questions about what a document is saying or what a question is asking you, please send me an email. Let me know. I think you'll enjoy reading through these, and as you're reading through them, put yourselves in the shoes of the people who are writing them. What do you think it would be like to be a Bostonian in the crowd being shot at like William Tant was? Or if you were Captain Thomas Preston trying to keep the peace between these two groups. After you finish this, save your file, turn it into Canvas, or if you don't have internet access, you'll turn it in on Monday. Have a great and safe Halloween. And again, please email me if you have questions or concerns.